And we're live.
Hi!
Hi. Hello,
Hello! Hello,
everybody.
hello, hello.
Mabuhay, mabuhay. Hi, Lilian. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, I'm good. Mabuhay, Donna.
Yeah, all the way from California. What time is it there?
Yes. It's 1 p.m. 1 p.m.
All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So for me here, I'm based in Europe, in Dublin, in Ireland. So it's just a minute after 9 p.m. So hello once again, everybody. We're back on our digital live talk with Donna. Pardon for my voice. I'm still not 100% after contracting influenza. So anyhow, I'm so pumped today and I'm so excited. I do this at least once a week, every Friday. And this online business talks is all about empowering people, families, healthcare workers, OFWs worldwide to have a plan B and, from an employee mindset to even gearing into entrepreneurship, working smarter, not harder.
Harder,
So,
yes. That's
yes,
true.
absolutely. So, here, I can't wait. We have a very special guest all the way from Canada. But for those new on my page, just a quick introduction. First of all, I thank you so much for following us, for following my page. I'm the face of this page, Donna Gamir. I'm a healthcarepreneur, a healthcare professional, nursing in background over 25 years. And 2 years ago, I found this business, and it has changed our lives for the better completely. So, yeah, if you have any questions, let us know. Let us know where you're tuning in from if you watch this live or on replay later on. And yeah, I'll give you the floor, Lillian. Introduce yourself maybe quickly, and then we'll let our guest in.
Yes. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Lilian. I'm here in California. I'm also a nurse, a healthpreneur, a nursepreneur, whatever you may call it. So, yeah, just like what Donna said, I also found this business like last year. And it's really a life-changing business. Like I've been into other businesses, but this one is really a lot different. I mean, I'm a shy type of person. We don't do anything. Everything is just online, just 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 like that. I cannot say much because it's like very doable for everyone, no matter what age you are. So I'm just so glad to have found this business. It's really a life-changing one. Yes. That's it.
Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, so I can't wait
Yes.
without
I know.
further
I'm
delay.
excited too.
Yes, without further delay. So actually, because we're all initially came our background initially was in the Philippines, so we can either English or Tagalog or whatever.
Tagalog.
So
Okay.
shoot all your questions on the comment section, and then we try to address them. So here we go.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi
Hi.
Hi,
everyone.
Paulo. How are
Hi,
you?
I'm
Paulo.
doing really well. How about you two?
Oh,
Great,
good,
great.
good, good. Great,
So
great.
we
Yeah.
did a little bit of our introduction. So it's
My
your
turn.
time now. It's
Yeah,
your honor.
yeah,
Tell us your background before starting this business.
yeah, definitely. And because I was born in the Philippines in Manila, so I can't understand Tagalog a lot. So, but I can speak only a little bit. But it's
Ah.
weird when I've been to the Philippines twice. When I go there, it just comes out. But when I'm back in Canada, it kind of goes back to being English. So yes, ask me in Tagalog as well. I can understand. But
It's
for
okay.
everyone,
It's
yeah,
okay.
for everyone, my name is Paulo Perle. Like I said, I was born in the Philippines, but I moved to Calgary when I was an infant. So I grew up in Calgary
Wow.
um, since
Mm.
1981. And I lived there for a good 26 years, and I moved away and traveled for a bit, and now I'm residing in Vancouver, Canada. I'm currently in Victoria visiting my partner's sister. Like we're here visiting her, so it's not my typical background, but it just goes to show you how portable and how
I
portable
know, you can
business.
take it
Yeah,
anywhere.
exactly. And like Donna and Lillian, I've been a nurse as well for over 20 years now. I worked in inpatient units, so I worked in thoracic surgery, trauma surgery. Um,
Wow.
I worked in GI surgery, and then I quit that type of nursing and went into research nursing. So I was working in oncology, clinical trials. So I've done stuff with gastrointestinal, and then gynecology, sarcoma, brain cancers, rare tumor cancers. what other ones? Like, so there a whole
Yeah,
other list of
you
stuff.
have so much
Yeah,
experience
You're
in
very
nursing.
well
Oh my God.
experienced.
yeah. But then it gets even interesting more because then I burnt out in that career of nursing and went into pharmaceuticals. So I worked for Bristol
Oh.
Myers Squibb. So I worked for them for 2 years doing real-time auditing of oncology clinical trials. So I was on the other end of monitoring clinical trials as it was actively recruiting patients. And then I burnt out in that job for after 2 years, and then I went into clinical informatics specialist. So basically, in British Columbia, the government bought this new patient electronic medical records program,
Mm,
so to streamline patient care, and so
yeah.
it's this whole system where I provide support from the clinical trial aspect because everything that is on paper or pre-printed orders, we have to develop them into electronic world. And so I provide the support of transitioning paper orders into electronic orders. So that's what I was doing for a bit. And then I left that afterwards and then went back into my clinical trials nursing coordinator position because there was nobody in between, and so that's what I'm doing now. I'm helping transition and making sure that all the nurses that I work with for trials nurses that they are standardizing all of their pre-printed orders before I end up retiring from this because I'm gonna at some point leave this role and hopefully just do the business full time. So yeah, that's my nursing career. So I've
Oh
worked
my
in many
Oh
different
my
God.
goodness.
areas of nursing,
What
and then
else
even
is
just
it that you don't do in nursing?
Yeah,
right.
you're
It's like,
very
oh,
colorful
just,
background. Yeah.
I
Well,
Yeah,
know.
I can relate on the research part because both myself and Lillian way back in the Philippines, don't
Yeah.
ask us how many years ago,
yeah.
Yeah,
but
don't
we were
ask
both in
about
the academe
here.
in De La
Okay.
Salle. We were teaching nursing students. So, we love that part, academia and teaching and all that. So, in
Mm,
that way, yeah, like yourself, in research, it's more about, learning, nonstop learning. So,
Yeah.
that's a good thing. So,
I
thank you
know.
so much for that. And
Wow.
I just can't wait further on our discussion. How did you venture out into online? Like, first thing is, what is your why? There must be a
Yeah.
reason. And how did you came across this business, online business?
So how I came across it was actually I know the founders, Mike and Derek.
Mm,
I knew Mike before even the whole business, before even created the whole system. I knew him through mutual friends. So I met him back in early 2000, and then I moved away and I came back to Vancouver, and I just started following him and his partner's business page because I was intrigued. I'm like, what are they doing? And then over several months that passed, they're posting their successes, and so I'm like, I want to kind of look into this. And the reason why I looked into this is because previously, just before I turned 33, I was diagnosed with a rare neuromuscular disorder called cervical
mm,
dystonia. And so it was the lowest part in my life where I got to because health wise, I went from a very independent person to a dependent person. So I lost full voluntary movement on my head movement. So the part of the brain that controls muscle movement for everyone, it was sending too many signals to this side of my neck, and so I started off with a stiff neck in the morning, and then gradually within an 8 week period, so it's a very acute period, that my head started turning this way, but then it started doing this
Oh,
like
oh,
nonstop. But this is soft. It was more aggressive, and because the aggressiveness of the turnings and the jerks of my head, it caused me to pinch a nerve
nerve.
between my C5 and 6. So, with this being a rare condition, I also developed another rare condition because it irritated the nerve. So,
Mm,
I
mm,
ended up developing sensory and motor neuropathy to my right arm. And so I lost full control of that arm as well. So I had two things going on at once. And the doctors at the time were thinking it wasn't the typical presentation of cervical dystonia. So he was thinking that I might have a tumor in my brain as well. So I had to undergo an MRI. So it was a scary moment in my life. And luckily, it just was cervical dystonia. It took me 2 years of physio rehab massage to get my head to the way it is now that I can have control over it, and Botox. And so I get Botox
mm.
for
um,
muscles. Yeah.
every four to
Yeah.
5 months. And so, but even during that time of diagnosis, I didn't know what was happening. My partner at the time didn't know what was happening. And so during that period, I was just worried about money. I wasn't
Yeah.
worried about my health because I was like, we just moved into a brand new place. And I was like, who's going to pay the bills? Who's going to pay the mortgage?
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to go to the gym again? Am I able to walk again or do the daily functions? And so I was just, it was all just tied to money. And I told myself, I would never let myself get to that moment again where I have to worry about money versus my health. And so, yeah, it was one of my lowest moments. I didn't document any of it. In hindsight, I wish I documented it because, but at that point, I thought that was my new normal, that I wasn't going to be functioning. I was just going to be lying in bed because my mom came out to fly to celebrate my birthday, and I hid it from her as long as I could because I didn't know what was happening. I didn't want to scare her. But when she was coming, I told her what happened. We picked her up from the airport. She was like, she was, her eyes are all red. She was bawling her eyes.
Mm.
And she stayed with us for 6 months. And she helped me every day get out of bed and
Wow.
try to do all that stuff because even dressing myself, feeding myself, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the
Uh,
thing now with nursing,
yeah.
because our profession in healthcare is very physical. Like,
Mhm.
we have, for us to earn, we have to be present physically.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know you're in research or something, but it's more of us in healthcare. We have to be, you know, present for us, but the good,
Bedside. The
yeah.
bedside.
But the good thing here with this business, because our business platform, it works for us 24/7 in automation. And that's the true meaning of working smart, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And like you said, with being bedside nursing, you have the physical aspect and you have the emotional and the mental part of it too. And with
True.
research, because I do clinical trials, I had patient workloads. I actually was seeing my patients, but because I was dealing with a very sick population, that prognosis
Mm.
5 to 6 years after diagnosis of cancer, and so I was dealing mostly with gynecology patients, and I met so many great patients and family members, but in the end, a lot of them passed away. And so, taking the toll of their death and getting to know these people added to the stress that I had to deal with. And the doctors said it was idiopathic, meaning that they couldn't figure out what caused it, but I knew what caused it. It was the stress, because even during that period, I was working a 3 nurse workload with me and my other really good colleague, because our third colleague had to do leave of absence because of just, it was just too much for her. And they
Mhm.
couldn't find a replacement for her because clinical trials research nurses is a niche job.
Yes.
We
It's a
Yeah.
just can't pick up.
specialty.
Yeah, we just can't pick a patient. We just can't pick a nurse from the hospital to take over because there's so much training involved.
Yeah.
So it took them 2 years to actually find a good replacement. That over those
Mm.
2 years, it was just so much work that we had to do because I was working. So it was a Monday, Friday job, but I was working past 4:30 up until 7, 8 p.m. on weekdays. I was going in on Saturdays, Sundays to prep for my clinics because I was so busy during the week. And I did that for almost 2 years. And
Wow.
so that's why I was I was definitely for sure knew it was the stress that caused all of this. And so
Mm.
that's
Yeah.
why that's one of my biggest whys that I don't want to get back into. I know it was long-winded, but I needed to explain
Of course.
where
Yeah.
I came from.
Of
And then
course.
my other second why is because I mentioned that all the different places I worked at. So here in Canada, if you're in a union, if you leave a specific hospital or center, you lose your seniority for vacation. And
Mm.
so even with 2 decades of nursing experience, I just have the standard vacation.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yes.
And
Yeah.
for me, that's not fair because
Yeah.
with my experience, employers, managers are expecting a lot more from you. You're more of a teacher. You give your knowledge to other people. That I mean, I compared to other colleagues of mine that have been, sorry, my other friends who've been working other hospitals, and they're almost 8 weeks vacation. I'm only at 4 weeks.
That's
And
not
Ah,
fair.
that's
you know
not fair.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and so that's one of the other whys. And then my other third whys is because my mom, she retired, and so she ended up separating from my dad, and so she relied on him financially, and so she's just living off her pension. And as everyone knows, like pension is just pays the bills, pays the rent. That's really it. They don't really get to enjoy life. So I want to be able to
Yeah.
give back to my mom and help her go on more trips and vacations. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. And
Yeah.
we'd like to acknowledge all our viewers live at the minute. Coach Irma from the UK.
Hi, Coach
Um,
Irma.
yes, and Emma actually from New Zealand,
Hi, Emma.
and Lay from the UK as well. And we have Annabelle here from Ireland. So, yeah, Lilian, your next question.
Okay, Paulo. So next question. What are the primary benefits for a busy professional like us in pursuing multiple income streams through online business?
On our specific
On,
online platform,
Yeah,
so the
because there's
one,
so much there's so much
oh
out there that you don't know what's real, what's not. But
yes.
that's true.
specifically,
Yeah.
our on
On
Canadian
our
built
on
system.
our
Yeah,
online business.
So one of the benefits is the fact that it is a legit business, a legit system that we offer in the program, because like Donna mentioned, there are other online businesses out there, but they're not legit. And
Mm-hmm.
so if as nurses, as professionals, like because we have other professionals in our business community, we have doctors in this community, we have accountants, we have what is it? We have teachers, firefighters,
All
like
professions.
all professional people. We would not put our face in front of this business if it was a scam or legit.
absolutely.
And I've read some and the other thing too, there's reviews. There's always gonna be reviews out there, and I read reviews about our whole like about our leaders who created this, and they're saying like, oh, they're scammers. They're moving from country to country to hide from the government, and I'm
What?
like thinking, I'm like, um, last time I checked, those two were hosting those masterminds every week from Vancouver or Vancouver Island. I've
In
not seen
Canada.
them. Yeah, I've not seen them moving around Asia, nothing like that. So it's like you have to be also be wary of reviews out there and question it. And as mentors and coaches, we're here to provide you that information. And as well, what makes this a really good business is that the whole automation part of this
Yeah.
business, which allows a lot of us, and a lot of us are still working our day jobs doing this side because of the automation that's involved. And if you're wondering what's automated, email campaigns for 45 days. And so that takes care of a lot of the legwork for you. And and then the coaches that we train on the back end that sell our products that we have on the back end for us is another big aspect of what makes this I find this system very unique, because you're not having to worry about selling to people and all that. And people are like, well, it's like I don't know what to do, like I don't want to sell. I'm like, we're not selling anything, we're selling the lifestyle of owning an online business that's plugged into a system that has these high-end products in the back that pay the highest commission. Because
Mhm.
you have to always question yourself. You're going into like a lot of multi-level marketing businesses are really good, but you're selling high quantity of products that have low price tags on it. So you have to sell, let's say 100 versus one or two that we have on our system to make the same amount.
Yeah,
What would you rather choose?
I
Yeah.
know. We
The
have
one
high
at the
ticket
top.
items.
Yeah, because the high ticket items involve less work, whereas the low ticket items you have to do Tupperware parties. You have to
That's true.
No.
provide all these samples. I'm like, we don't have the time to do that, because like if that was the case, then I might as well just go to and get another job somewhere physically.
Mhm.
But a lot of that is not possible, because I know a lot of people have kids, have other commitments. That the best way to have another sources of income is online, that you can run the business either by phone or by your laptop. And this is what we have. It's a tried and tested system. It's been around for 7 years. We've tuned out all the kinks and all that stuff. I think the only problem we have is the growth. I mean, our growth, we're growing
Yeah,
out
because
of
we continued
yeah,
growing.
we're growing out of our systems, because the systems cannot handle the volume of people within our community. And I just checked today, we're close to I think almost close to 50,000 people globally doing this business. And
Wow.
so when I do those numbers, when I see those numbers, people are like, oh, the market's saturated. How can you say
No.
50,000 saturated when there's billions of people in this world? And it just looks like it's saturated because it's the algorithm. It's, for example, if you are planning a trip somewhere and you're like, I need to buy a swimsuit. So you go online and you're looking for a swimsuit. The algorithm is going to start showing you advertisements on swimsuits. And that's the same thing with this business. The moment you click on somebody's ad, you're going to get similar ads like that onto
Yeah.
Yeah.
your feeds. It's just how the algorithm works, but does not reflect that it's saturated in the system.
Mhm.
I mean, if it was saturated, we wouldn't even be doing this business. And this business system and program is gonna be around for a very, very long time because I don't see the population going any
I
smaller
know.
than what
Like
it is.
it's at the minute in social media, like we're just talking with Facebook, not other platforms like Instagram or
Mhm.
something. In Facebook alone, 4.4 billion. Imagine, and then we're
Yeah.
just a drop in the ocean actually.
Yeah,
The internet age is still young and it's not really overly saturated. And I just wanna we just wanna say hi once again. We have loads of viewers. We have 6 million viewers. Thanks,
yeah,
Emma. Yeah, she's from New Zealand. Of course, nursing, it's physical, emotional, mentally demanding as it is. We know that.
yeah,
And Irma, yeah, even we have loads here. I call it the exodus of professionals shifting online. But
yeah,
it's not all about ditching your 9 to 5 or something. But this is all about, as you said, that you were sick at some point in your life, Paolo,
Mm.
and
yeah,
at least you have this backup plan in
yeah.
place already.
And
So yeah,
you know what I love too is even during this whole time of me being a business owner, when I went through all that, I quit nursing for a bit and just did the business. But during that time, I was a casual nurse, and so I still love nursing. I know I'm still going to do it later on down the road at some point. I don't know what it is, but I know I'm going to be doing something similar. But I went into work happy, like because I was like picking up shifts. I didn't really have a patient workload. I just did what I needed to do. I can
Yeah.
my schedule is flexible. I can say no to pick up any shifts if they offer it to me. And a lot of there's still a small percent of people who still love their career and still want to do it and do this business on the side, but they're not as stressed to the fact that they're just tied to that one business, or sorry, one source of income from an
yeah.
employer, because they know they've got others multiple streams of income. And so
Hmm.
that's another scenario that this business opportunity can offer people like you who are looking for a way out, because a lot of you, if you were able to take out the stress, take out the crazy workloads, you would still love your job. But that's the
Yeah.
biggest reason why a lot of people hate it, is because it's so unmanageable now with everything. And because automation, I know we spoke about automation, but automation is being implemented in a lot of jobs now. They're taking away those job roles physically
Uh-huh.
from people and then giving those roles to other people. So it's basically adding more to your plate. And so I don't know how people do it. It's crazy times right now, and this is what we're here to offer, to show people there's other opportunities out there.
Options.
Yeah,
Hmm.
to help manage that stress in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
plus there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so what are the top three? I know
Mm,
there's loads, but just name top three
Top
main
three.
features of our online business platform that you like best.
okay.
And obviously, did you encounter any challenges in starting this venture?
So the three main features of the online business that I like about this is, as I mentioned earlier, the automation, because
Automation.
it allows me to still do my day-to-day things with work and activities and other commitments. And the best part too is when I'm traveling. I love to travel, and an example of where automation took over, because once I got my ads out, that was part of automation as well too. I went last year. I went traveling through Central America. I flew down to Mexico, then to Guatemala with my partner and a couple of our friends, and we hired drivers to drive us through Guatemala all the way to El Salvador, down to Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica. So that was a good several weeks trip, but I was able to still run my business with my phone.
Yeah.
Like I remember submitting some paperwork for a new business colleague while I was driving through the base of a volcano in Costa Rica. Like
Wow.
it's just
So that's how it
just
works.
yeah, it just shows
Yeah.
you that as long as you have good Wi-Fi or data connection, you can
Mm-hmm.
run this business. And so that's one of the things I like. The second part is the community. The although we're all independent business owners plugged into the system, the support that we have through mentors and coaches and within the community, like from Vancouver, I have support from people from local Vancouver, but then have like other people I talk to that are in other countries as well that have support. So the mentorship is there. It really helps, especially because with any business, there's ups and downs. So when you're having down moments or you're having difficulties or an ad or like how to do things, then you can reach out to these people and they'll help you. And the third thing I like about it is the uncapped financial the financials that you can
That's the
earn with
best part.
Yeah.
yeah, because when I earned from two sales close to what I would make in I think a month, when I was able to do that in 1 week, was like massive sort of change to me and realize the potential. But also in our community, when people post that they're earning 20, 50, 100,000 plus a month,
5, 6
it's,
figure. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just
Mind blowing.
it's crazy
Like
that this is happening,
crazy.
but at the same
How
time
did they do that?
it's reality. This is what it
Passive income.
is,
Yeah.
a true potential of this. And so that's the one thing I'm working for, because I'm using this business as a platform so that I have the money to fund other businesses that I want to do down the road. And when my
Diversify your portfolio.
investments, and I also want to start a foundation because I want
Wow.
other people as well to start other businesses, and I really want to focus on being able to put money aside for my nieces and nephews, because I want to teach them how to become entrepreneurs, business. I don't really want them to go to school where they're taught to
Start them,
a lot of
yeah.
Yeah.
because that's how a lot of us have gotten to where we are because we were never taught financial literacy.
Financial. Yeah.
True.
We were never taught how to be start businesses and so on. And so I want to give my nieces and nephew a leg up with being able to educate them so that they can make better choices in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's really true, because I don't know if this is a Filipino thing or whatever we call it, but growing up, we were kind of having that mindset that it's like an employee mindset, right? You have to do well
Correct.
in school, get a degree, climb up
Get
the
a
corporate ladder,
degree.
work 30,
Get a
45 years
job.
until retire.
Yeah.
That's and that's hard because, as you said, you want to support your nieces and nephews, other support any charities or whatever. Like our salaries, it pays the bills, it pays our mortgages and all that.
Cannot support
But I
those
still
stuff.
believe, our business, it funds our lifestyle, it funds our travels, our bigger dreams, our
Yeah.
ministries, and that's the power of having multiple income streams, and it's just a
Yeah.
game changer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because
Lilian,
here
yeah.
Oh, I forgot to answer the
Just here.
last question.
Oh,
The challenges.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
oh
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Sorry,
I
challenges.
think one of the biggest
Okay,
challenges
yeah.
with this business is not knowing how to do marketing and all that stuff, which I would say 95% of us who come into this don't have that same knowledge.
I want to
But
go back
Perspective.
on
Yeah.
that.
but because our training that we have that's accessible 24/7, plus the masterminds that we have weekly, helps with getting over those challenges and knowing how to create good ads and so on. And the beauty of this is that we have people within our community who are spending a lot more on a daily budget for ads, and so they buy training and so on, and so they pool their knowledge through on these masterminds and give out that information to everyone in the community so
We
that
share.
they're not making the same mistakes sorry,
Yeah.
we're not making the same mistakes that they did. And so that's what I love about it is we're sharing our knowledge so that we can all become successful in this business.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
But
good thing really here is all the training, our masterminds every week. I liken it to like going to a master's in business
mm,
because it really is, we get all the learnings every week, plug into a system. And to think about it, we don't pay anything for this. It's like a lifelong mentoring, coaching. It's a global
Yeah.
thing, but we
It's
don't
it's
pay
a
a dime. We
nonstop,
don't pay
yeah,
a yeah.
nonstop
Uh-huh.
learning, really. Yeah. It changed my
and
So
mindset too when I entered into this business. Before,
yeah,
my mindset is just okay, I'll work, I'll save on my 401k. Here in the US, it's 401k, the retirement fund, and then that's it. Like, little did you know, by the time I get to retire, the amount that I might get is just what gonna be paid for my rent on the apartment, nothing more to enjoy like the rest of the money. But this one is like really a game life changer.
yeah.
absolutely.
And then
Absolutely.
one more last challenge that a lot of people I want to make them aware is like you're gonna have haters. You're gonna have
Oh
people that
yeah.
and haters are
Everywhere.
family, friends, like colleagues, people out in the public. So you have to learn to develop a thick skin. And the thing is, a lot of that is coming from them not knowing the information that we know, and that's like with
That's true.
anything else in general. And so that was one of the biggest challenges, because my ex partner was like that as well. Always brought like saying like this is a scam. Like I had arguments, and I have colleagues that were like, oh, this is like a pyramid, this all this stuff, and I just ignore them, and I just do that. And even random strangers online will see them
Mm-hmm.
meet,
Yeah, yeah, that's
and
true.
I just laugh at it. And I'm like, God, I'm like they spent all that time to write this long paragraph. I'm
Yeah.
like they could have used that energy and focused on something else. So yeah,
In
that was
learning about the
yeah,
business. Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, you see, if you don't do your own due diligence, that's why we start off with our free webinar because the 90-minute, it explains how the business, you have to do your own due diligence and then make an informed decision
yeah,
because it's only yourself who can decide for yourself. And if
yeah.
you don't do that first part, then you'll never learn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so when I do my coaching calls, I equate the whole sort of process, like the workflow of people getting information, as like in nursing. So I'm like, I couldn't imagine in nursing year one if they told me when I graduate I would be charge nurse, I'd be doing shift work, I'd be pulling out test tubes, getting pee poo on me, and I'd be cleaning people. I'd be like, I don't want to do nursing. I'm
You're gonna
sorry.
be
Like
punched on.
yeah,
Yeah.
like if you disclose all that information, it would have scared me off. It wouldn't have went over my head. And so we've done it strategically with our system and our workflow that we give
Mhm.
you bits and pieces of information because in general our attention span as humans are so low that we can't, like what Don said, we can't squeeze 90 minutes of information into a 15 minutes text or phone call. Like it's
Yeah.
That's
impossible.
true.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so if you don't want to follow this workflow, then you know what? It's probably not a business for you.
Yeah.
If
No,
you want to work with people who are coachable,
absolutely.
who can follow the training and who will take positive criticism, because we're here to help you succeed in this business.
Mhm.
And so, if that's not who you are, if you're not ready for that, then go find something else.
Yeah.
Not trying to be mean or anything, but go find something else that will do that for you. But a lot of
Mhm.
those other opportunities are quick rich, and you're not gonna make a lot of money out of it in the short term.
Yeah.
We're long term. This is something you can pass on to your family.
Yeah. This
Down
is a
the road.
long-term
Yeah,
business,
A
long-term
legacy that you can
investment,
pass on if
legacy.
you have kids or any family members like yourself, Paolo, nephews, nieces.
yeah.
That's the best thing here because I have two teenage kids late into their teens.
Hmm.
So actually, my son who just turned 21, he's actually on the business as well.
Hmm.
So this is really great because, nowadays, not all people now in the younger generation are geared into what we went through when that you have to like a traditional school and all that
Mhm.
because more people now are earning even if you don't have like the degree or something they do their passion like travel or whatever it is, but the good thing here is you have something running for you at the background, and this is the best. Yeah.
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 So Lil,
Okay. So, last question. How did your life change through this business?
So Lillian, like you mentioned, like a lot of personal growth has
Yeah.
really, um, and I've been able to get over my fear of being stage fright and being in front of people.
Mm.
Like being
Oh,
being
I can
Filipino, we
relate
know.
to that. Oh my.
Yeah. Well, it's like Filipinos. We love to sing karaoke and do all that stuff. I can't even sing in front of my family or like relatives without sweating and like getting all nervous and stuff. But with this business, I've learned to kind of chip away at it in a way that I can get more comfortable. And so, for me, it's like okay. So I started like doing the newbie masterminds within our community for new business owners. So I was hosting there with one of my good friends, Paula, who I met through this business.
Paula.
And then the other one is like I started interviewing other successful people in our community who've reached major milestones. So I'm in charge of organizing that and interviewing people in the community, and then plus doing these go lives with people interviewing who are interviewing me, and then with I've connected with Coach Georgia and some other people,
Yeah.
and we do live business chats every Tuesday, Thursdays, Saturdays, and they just added one for Monday for Spanish. My Spanish is still it's still not as good, but at some point I'd love to join that. But it's just getting over that fear of being in front of the camera.
Mm.
It will still be there, but it's gotten a lot better where I feel comfortable. I'm not worried about like making things perfect or saying the perfect
Yeah.
thing. So that's one of it, it's personal growth. The other part that's made me change is the mindset of working
Yeah.
for somebody
That's the
else.
very first thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and I kind of had a step up with the mindset because as an oncology clinical trials nurse, we didn't have a manager telling us what to do. We had to
Mhm.
create a schedule. We had to figure out how to open up a clinical trial study at a site. So we're very self-sufficient nurses to do that. And so I just use that same skill set and transferred over to this business, but learned how to manage my business, learned how to operate the business, learned how to automate my business even more through scheduling posts, creating posts, and then now with whole Chat GPT, I've been creating a lot more of my own personal content and so on. And so it's been nice going back to my creative side. That was buried because I was so busy just working and trying to make a living of like just trying to live and pay the bills and so on. So and then I think the other part too this change is being able to have the flexibility to travel and
Yeah.
being able to do more things. Like I was living down in Mexico for 5 months doing this business, and I did it
Wow.
for 2 months.
Oh, wow.
I can travel with this business more because
Anywhere.
yeah, anywhere
They
and
can
just
take you anywhere.
and knowing that we're sitting on this gold mine is what I
That's
think
true.
has changed my mindset because it's really sad when because I remember when I was doing the clinical informatics job, they called an emergency meeting because the directors and managers were realizing a lot of people were crying and very emotional because they weren't meeting deadlines, and people were working like long hours and weekends and stuff. And I'm just thinking, how are these people like feeling like this is what they can only do? And so
Mm-hmm.
I felt like we were lucky. I'm a lucky person to have this on my this business as an ability to earn other extra income.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, yeah, it's just I just feel very fortunate and grateful I came across this system, came and I've seen the growth over 6 years. I've seen the growth. When I started, I was only 3,000 something, like 3,000
Wow.
person doing the business.
Wow. And look
Uh,
at us now.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, or maybe I was 300. I can't, no, actually, I think I was 600, 300. Like I was
Oh my
pretty early
goodness.
at the stages. Like we were like, we were still
You
using
started
Skype.
2017, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
2017.
Wow.
So I've seen
So
the
we're
growth of this.
growing fast, you
Yes.
Yeah.
know?
So yeah, those are the
Absolutely.
biggest life changes, and I just want to be able to show people more of this opportunity. But like you guys said, it's like it's dependent on the person. It's dependent if they're willing to change, if they're ready for change. And some people, they need to hit rock bottom before they can actually
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
I
It's a
think
sad
most
thing
people are
though.
really on the comfort zone. Like I was like that for a long time
Mhm.
until pandemic hit. And I was so sick then, early 2021, and I said I needed a change. I love being a nurse. Like, it's my first love, but I said I needed a change. I want to do something, and this business came at a very opportune time. It's like a heaven sent, God sent. So that's just, oh my goodness, I can't believe we're 40 minutes
Yeah.
on. So any last words? Any last words, Paula, for people who are watching us live or maybe on replay, who are looking to start a legitimate business online? I have to stress legitimate, because there's a lot out
A lot
there
of
that we don't know. So, any steps?
Yeah. So with just to add to the legitimacy of it, for people who are watching, we get tax slips at the end of the year, so that just adds to the legitimacy of this. I don't know how else we can show that it's legitimate, but that's if you, after listening to this, if you're intrigued, if you want to learn more, watch that free information webinar. It's 90 minutes of your time, and people say I don't have the time to do it. I'm like, you know what? I call BS on that, because if you have time to watch Netflix, like multiple episodes, you have time to play games, you have time to
Drama.
yeah, all those things, you
ouch.
have 90 minutes.
Ouch.
Yeah, because movies
That
now
was me
more than
before.
like 2 hours long now. It's crazy. Or like you're watching an episode on like a TV show, and you're watching an episode, they're almost like 45 minutes to an hour long.
Easily,
what
yeah.
what's 90 minutes? This is 90 minutes that could change your life, that can change the
Mhm.
Yeah.
direction
Yeah.
of where you can stop that cycle of eat, sleep, repeat, and then thinking, oh God, what if I don't get that paycheck, or if I get sick, and you're living paycheck to paycheck. This opportunity can change that life, where you're not having to worry about money, and having more quality time that you can spend where you're not tired hanging out with friends or family. And then the other thing too is other communities. We have other extra Facebook private groups that we've created. And
Yeah.
so I have one where it has frequently asked question videos that we get as commonly as mentors and coaches. And so if any of those, if you're watching information webinar and you're connected to a mentor or somebody that is talking to you about this business, ask them if they have any of those private Facebook groups that have a bit more information, so that you can do your due diligence.
Yeah.
We're not here to convince you to go in this business.
No.
We're here to show you an opportunity that this business can offer you. Those are two. That's a big difference.
Mhm.
I'm
Yes.
not gonna stress and cry about somebody who can't join the business, because I don't want to force someone into it. It's like Donna said, it's the time. Like you have. I'm in such a true believer that the universe gives you does things to you at certain times in your life, and I'm a true believer of that. And so if it's your time, if you feel like this is something for you, follow your intuition, and you can do your due diligence and ask your questions, because if you don't get your questions answered, then that's when red flags start happening. But bear in mind too that a lot of us are still learning this system, and so those mentors need to ask their coaches if for answers to these questions that you're answering. So just be patient with them, and they can answer those questions. But then, yeah, this whole system is automated. It's there for you. You can do it while you're running while you're doing your day job. So as long as you're able to allot time in your day and learn how to do time schedule of your day,
Mhm.
but that involves sort of like a shift in your mindset as well, and being able to run this business differently. And so how I do it in the morning is that I wake up half an hour earlier now, and then I run my business. On my lunch breaks, I don't watch a TV show or play games and stuff. I work on my business. And then after work, I'll work a bit on my business. So it's really up to you, because once you get the business set up, which can take about 2 to 3 weeks, but
Yeah.
once you have a business set up, maintenance is about 1 hour to
Yeah.
3 hours or more a
Yeah.
day.
Mhm.
And that's not like sitting down for an hour, 2 hours.
Mhm.
You can do 10 minutes there, 15 minutes there, 30
Yeah.
minutes there,
You can
because it's a,
multitask with this
You
yeah,
can do it
business.
at packets of your time.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
Exactly.
flexible. Yeah.
So yeah, look into it. It's an opportunity that, like I said, can change your life. And yeah, just ask away. And if you if it's not your time yet, just stay connected with the person, because sometimes finances could be an issue as well. And so hang on to this, because we're going to be around. I was talking to a lead who's like, I love the system and everything, but I just don't have the finances. He's like, I don't know if I can do it. I was like, that's fine. We're not, like I said, we're not here to push you, but the system's going to be around for a very long time. So when you're ready, which could be 3 months, 6 months, a year down the road, then reach out to me, and the system will still be here and we can help you get started. So
Absolutely. Oh my goodness.
Wonderful.
yeah.
Wonderful. We learned a lot, 3/4 of your time. Thank you so much.
So
I know. I mean,
Um,
you can talk all day. I can
we
I know
listen
can
to
I'm
you
talk
all
all
starting.
day.
day.
Yeah, I really love this discussion. It's all about empowering people to work smarter. As I said, now in the digital age, I shop online, I do groceries online, I do banking online,
Mostly
pay
it's
my son's
online.
tuition fee online, even people date online.
Yep,
So why not earn online, right?
exactly.
So yeah, any last words, Lilian?
And leave more offline.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Paulo, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. It
Thank
was
you,
nice to meet you.
Paulo.
We
May
learned a
hope
lot
to see
and so
you.
impressed. Yes.
I
And
know.
it's I I can't imagine myself, as I said, being a nurse. I thought I'll retire as a nurse, before I
Me
found out
too.
this
Yeah, that's
business.
what
But
I thought too before
yeah,
this
this
business.
business has really changed a lot of people's lives, not just us nurses. I'm so gobsmacked when they started this business that in our global community, we have doctors, we have teachers, loads of stay at home moms. It doesn't matter if you are, you finish a degree or even your
Yeah,
sixth grade education, which we do have, that's really killing it in the online space at the minute. So it doesn't matter what your educational background
yeah,
is.
Yeah.
This can work for anybody as long as you're coachable, willing to learn, and have bigger dreams in life.
And just to add to that, if English is your second language, please don't let it deter you or scare you from doing this
Yeah.
business.
yes,
Although our videos are all English based, we have a little thing that you can add on to your internet browser that can convert the videos into your language. So please, yeah, don't let that you think that's a barrier, or that you don't think you can speak English very well. Honestly, like, it doesn't matter, as long as you can figure out the training. You can do a lot of things in your native tongue, and advertise in native tongue, and advertise and target to people that speak your language. We can teach you how to do that. So yes, this opportunity is for everyone, regardless of if English is your second language or not. So
Absolutely. I just want to add on that. Actually, the people really who are really rocking and crushing this business are those people who speak their tongue.
yeah,
Like we have
true,
loads
true.
from
Their
Vietnam,
local language.
Cambodia. Yeah, like, they do their local language, they attract their own, and they're killing it on the online space. So,
yeah.
if English is not your first language, it's fine.
That's
This
fine.
can work for
Completely
everybody.
fine.
Yes. So thank you so much, Paula.
Thank you,
Lilian,
You're
thank you
welcome.
so
Paulo.
much.
Thank you so much,
And it's
Paula.
nighttime on my side, 10
Yeah.
minutes to 10 p.m. And have a great afternoon.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you. Bye,
Okay.
everyone.
All
Bye.
the best. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.